So the number is 7.5.
Yeah.
No,
I
eight
mean,
and a half. I'm sorry,
if
eight and a
you're
half.
if you're looking at for them to take the number two spot in the AFC East, I like them over 8.5 wins. Um,
Money Pile.
Hey guys, this is your favorite neighborhood gambler, Moss Money. Thanks for clicking on my video. If you're into gambling, if you're into winning money at gambling, hell, if you love talking Eagles, this is the channel and the videos for you. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and enjoy the shows. Mix. All right. We will start off with the AFC East. We have the Bills, New England, Miami, and the Jets. Looking at the numbers, obviously, it looks like Buffalo Bills are almost a runaway with this division at minus 270. This is because the strength of schedule of the Bills, they are the ninth, I think, ninth easiest schedule in all of the NFL. So you got the MVP coming back. You didn't lose too much. Let me see who they lost. I don't think they lost too much. The big thing is Cook right now with them. Cook is kind of like, he's not playing. He's still fighting for his contract. Had 16, 17 touchdowns last year. So it all makes sense for him. Hollins is gone. Let me just bring up all the departures that the Buffalo Bills have had, and free agents that they had, as well. Looking at that number, man, I mean, it's really Buffalo or nothing. But even at that number, I don't think anybody's betting Buffalo, either at minus 270, unless you're betting really, really heavy. But they lost. Amari Cooper's no longer there. Just some names you guys would know. Von Miller's not there. Um, and Matt Hollins went to the Patriots. So those are the ones that are kind of really stand out, that I would say. And then, if you look at their offensively, they feel very comfortable offensively. I'm pretty sure. And when you look at their draft, I mean, bro, top five picks on their draft were all defensive players. They got Mad
mhm.
Max from Kentucky, T.J. Sanders, the big D tackle out of South Carolina, Landon Jackson, Deion Walker, Jordan Hancock from Ohio State. To a run at this thing again. You know, it's the Bills are going to win the division. Like,
Yeah,
they're going to
yeah.
win the division. I mean, there's really nothing more really to break down, but just with Buffalo. So I mean, I don't think you're going to have any argument with me on that. But I think what is interesting here is the Patriots.
Yeah.
Being second in odds here. Compared to Miami and the Jets. Um, you know, what are your thoughts on the Patriots? I think the Patriots are interesting. And then, do you think the Patriots might make the playoffs here?
Yeah, it's a good question because obviously the Bills is the front runner of the AFC North, right? That's what we're looking at. I'm sorry, AFC
Yep.
East. Um, and with their favorable home schedule for Buffalo, it kind of drives that bus to that for them to win the division. I do like
Hmm.
what you're. I do like the Patriots as a sneaker because they have the pieces. I think they're about a year, maybe a year or two, from making some noise in the playoffs. You got your quarterback, running back now. Got some pieces on the edge. Their
Got your
defense.
left tackle.
Yep, yep. So you're securing the O
Yeah, Will
line.
Campbell from LSU.
Yep. So there's some good pieces here. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of back into the wild card. But I think they're gonna be much better. I would look at their team total wins over.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
take a
that
look at it.
let's see if that's not overly juiced. If it's not overly juiced, I would take a look at that team total over. I think they're going to be okay for this year, this upcoming season.
Let's see. New England Patriots. Everything's so slow for some reason. Oh shit. Oh, okay. I was about to say 3.5. I was like, what? All right, so let's see. What's the number? Let's show more. So the number is 7.5.
Yeah.
No,
I
eight
mean,
and a half. I'm sorry,
if
eight and a
you're
half.
if you're looking at for them to take the number 2 spot in the AFC East, I like them over 8.5 wins, um, and able to potentially backdoor the wild card and sneak in the playoffs. I think they're going to be competitive, um, and I think New England's going to be one of those teams, man. That would be definitely a potential playoff team for sure.
So real quick, we'll run through it just off the top of your head. Win or loss. Uh, Raiders. This is New England. Home for the Raiders.
Win.
At Dolphins.
Oh, you're talking about their New England schedule.
Yeah, New England schedule. Yeah.
At Miami, going down to Miami, Florida weather early.
I got to win there.
Yeah, I think, and they always play them tough. It just sometimes it gets. Is that a day game or night game?
Day game, 1 o'clock.
It gets a little tricky down there in Miami in the summertime.
Yeah. No.
That sun is hot. They have a favorable stadium against the opposing team,
Yeah.
especially
Yep.
early on. That could be an issue. So I don't know. That could be a win or a loss. But okay, you got it as a win. I'll go back to that game.
Home for Pittsburgh.
Win.
Home for Carolina.
Win. And Carolina's gonna be better.
Yeah, Carolina's going to be better. So at worst, 3-1.
At worst,
Right.
3-1.
At worst, 3-1 out of the 4. Then at Buffalo.
Loss.
That's a loss. At New Orleans.
Win.
At the Titans.
Tricky.
Yeah.
This could be an I'm feeling yourself game. If they are going one loss going into this Titan game,
I like your thought process. It's third road game in a row too. 3 road games in
this
a
could
row.
be that game. It's a game that you don't think it'd probably be a short line, maybe what 2.5, 3 type thing.
Yeah, who knows?
I would go probably Titans there. Just they gotta lose one of them.
All right, and then you got home for Cleveland.
That's a win.
Home for Atlanta.
I feel like I'm giving too many wins.
So the reason why
we're just trying to get over 8.5, right? I can see us getting over 8.5.
Well, I'm wondering because you said the playoffs, right? You said the playoffs, and my thought is I don't know if 9 wins is enough if we like him in the playoffs. So my thought is if they're going to make the playoffs, I feel like for them to secure them back into a wild card, they're going to need 10 wins. So I'm trying to find really 10 wins on this schedule.
Okay,
and you're going through the schedule, and it's a soft schedule. Now I'm thinking about because and we'll jump ahead a little bit. You had a loss at Miami, you had a loss at Buffalo, and a loss at Tennessee. That's 3 out of the first 9 games going in and being home for Cleveland, and then Atlanta, and then they're at Tampa, home for New York, which is always tough. At Cincy, and then New York, and then home for Buffalo. The end of the year looks a little tough. At Cincy, and then Monday Night Football against New York, bye at Buffalo. I'm sorry, home for Buffalo, at Baltimore, at New York, and then possibly home for Miami. So, I'm looking for 7 losses, and I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing 7 losses on this team. Like I give you, they lose to Miami, they lose to Buffalo, right? They lose to Tennessee, they lose to Tampa at Tampa, they lose to Cincy, that's 5, and just say they lose to Buffalo and they lose to Baltimore. That's 7 losses right there.
It's 10-7, right?
Yeah, and that's 10-7. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's what I said. I like it at 8.5. I think we're good.
yeah, I think
we have a game and a half cushion for sure.
Yeah, at 8.5, I think we're good. I think you're right. I think they can get 9 wins at the plus 110, and you always like good money. Being a little bit of greedy here, and because with all future bets, and you guys are understanding how you bet futures, you got to wait.
Yeah,
you got to wait to the end of the year. So you want some value at the end of the year. Like I don't want to bet, here, let me go back. I don't want to bet this 110, right? I don't want to bet this 110 and put $100 on it
Mhm.
to wait to win 110. Like I gotta wait the whole season
Mhm.
for to win $100. Now if you told me if your bankroll, obviously if your bankroll's right, and we have a video to help you manage your bankroll, so make sure you go check that out on the Money Pot YouTube page. How to manage your bankroll is actually called. But if you got $1,000 to bet, or even not even that, let me take it down a little bit. 500, okay, you could talk me into work. That's a little bit worth it. It's a long season, bro. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It is a long season. So, we talking like January. When you before you putting this bet now, you
Cash
gotta
out.
wait to
We cash
January.
out.
So
Yeah.
just that's all I'm kind of looking at in terms of like, all right, well, let me get a little bit of value here. So if I put $500 down on that 190 for 9.5 wins, that bet is 2-to-1 bet. You know, so that's how I was asking. Because I do believe in your thought process. I think it's starting to gain steam. They got the coaching right. They
Mhm.
got all the pieces right. They need Drake Maye to be a little bit above average, right? He
Yep.
sat the whole year last year, but if he can be average, I think that defense will be fine. Especially with Vebral as their coach.
Yep. I have the
Um,
defense right.
yeah, I think they'll have the defense right, and let's see what the playoff odds are. Yeah, plus 160.
Yeah, that might be better value there.
It might be the better bet. It is the better bet than the wins.
Yep.
Because what was
8.5 at plus 110.
I'm trying to think, what was what was the record last year to get into the playoffs? Um, let me see real quick. Who got into the wild card? 10, yeah, yeah.
Washington,
Denver,
right?
Denver
Denver.
did, yeah, Denver did. So did Pittsburgh at 10-7. So 10 wins is going to get you in.
Hmm.
So actually no, I think my bet is right. 9.5. I think it's a better
Yeah.
bet.
Plus 19, plus
You're going to need
190.
10 wins. Plus
Yeah.
190.
Good
Yeah.
point. Hmm.
Plus 190 is the better bet. So if you guys like New England Patriots to over and under on their win total, I would take it up. Instead of 8.5, go 9.5. Because if you think they're going to make the playoffs, then they're going to need 10 wins. So that's the way you bet. Uh, is that a bet for me today? I'll write it down just to
Mm,
have.
I like that. Just I'll write it down.
You know what I mean? Yeah, just to have in the top. Plus
And mind you,
190.
we're talking everything before preseason, so we have no injuries available right now as
Uh,
far as
correct.
by the
Correct.
time week one starts. So what we're talking about right now can change completely by what's going to happen on week one because we'll have the updates of each injuries going into the season. Obviously, a lot of guys don't start their starters anymore. They don't really play too much preseason for that
Nope.
risk in itself. But you never know. Practice, anything, roll of ankle, certain things like that can happen. And so, mind you, we are August. What is it?
The six.
The 6th. So,
Yeah.
just want to mind.
Yeah. Long way into the start of the.
And again, I did want to say too, when we're looking at futures, humble
Mm-hmm.
myself, speaking in third person, I never usually do that. I like to look at value. It's rare that I'm going to be looking at the sharp bets that are going to be, kind of close to the. I look for more potential on long value for these future bets, and I'll explain as we kind of get through the video.
Yeah, and then some losses from New England. Jacoby Brissett, Joe Milton, Hasty. They lost their center who retired. I lost a couple offensive linemen, but I think the youth movement is coming, and Will Campbell is going to be a huge part of that. He's a mauler too. So I don't think any other names that would kind of stick out there. Looking at the back end of the division, because it's probably what we're looking at with Miami and the Jets. I mean, both these teams combined are going to look completely different next year. And we could just talk with Miami. Raheem Mustard is gone. Jonas Smith is gone. Um, Armstead retired. Jack Stoll is gone. Um, uh, Calais Campbell gone. Kendall Fuller gone. Ramsey gone. Holland gone. Poyer gone. Like, I mean, it's it's really the under when you look at the over and under with
Mhm.
these win totals. Um, I think Miami is going to be trash, and I'm predicting it right now. I think that McDaniels is going to get fired this year.
It's not looking
I think
good.
he, I think he's going to get fired this year. Let's see. Can we find some value in the under here? I don't think you can parlay
7.5.
these. So they're at 7.5, and then it gets value in 6.5.
It's a little light.
Let
I
me
think
see.
we can find six or
Hold on,
seven
real quick.
wins.
Where am I? Okay, we're good. Kind of good on time. I want to make sure we just do about 20 minutes each division. So just checking my time a little bit. Let me bring up the Miami Dolphins because I don't know what they're doing. Like you lost two of your star players in the back end in Ramsey and Holland. And then you drafted a defensive lineman, you know, and as your first pick and Kenneth Grant. You drafted all linemen now your first three picks.
Hmm.
Two defensive tackles and one offensive guard. I, I don't know, man. At the Colts, home for the Patriots, at Bills, then home for the Jets. You could be 2-2 right there at the Panthers, Chargers, at Browns, at Falcons, home for the Ravens, Bills, and Commanders all in a row. Home for the Saints, and then at New York, at Pittsburgh, home for the Bengals, and then the Bucks, and then the Patriots. Bro, I don't see 7 wins. They might
Yeah,
lose to the Colts on the road.
it's gonna be an uphill battle for Miami. Um, and I think I'm right on board with you. I don't know. I think 7. It's gonna be right there. So I think that's one of the bets that I will stay clear of. Is not enough money, not enough
Yeah,
value on that, right?
yeah.
Like, but I do agree with you. If those are people that are looking at Dolphins getting over 7 wins, I think you're going to be right there because I think they can find some wins because they got a good enough offense and receiver, especially early in the season when the weather's good
Wow, you
to
can you
move
can
the
parlay
ball.
them.
You can parlay them. Okay,
You can parlay them. You can parlay them.
the win totals.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I didn't
Now
even
that
think
would be
about.
cool. That would be dope. Let's do a divisional win total parlay. I think we can do that.
Can I, let me see. I gotta
I mean, the
zoom
value, I
out.
guess, is going to be all. Well, we said
How bad is that on your eyes? Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. All right, cool. I had it zoomed in a lot. Yeah, yeah. Look at that. You can do a parlay on the over and under. Get the fuck out of here. I don't remember that being a thing last year, but I also don't think I tried. I think the over and unders are always been just one bets.
mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. Let's get to it then for sure. All right, let's do this then. Let us go to we got NFL. Let me get preseason, more NFL. Sorry, the view got changed up. All right, here we go. So we got win totals. All right, we got Buffalo. Buffalo has the 10th easiest schedule um in the NFL. I don't know why this Jones low. There we go. They start at 7.5.
10.5 at minus 190, 11.5 at minus 160. I mean, if they're favored to win a division, they're easily going to win 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to easily win 12 games. So I'm okay with that. It would somehow would have to happen for them not to win 12 games. Knock
Okay,
on
I like
wood.
that.
But
Yep.
something major would have to happen. All right. And then we'll stick with our New England bet.
Over 9.5.
Yeah, over 9.5 to get a little bit of value in there. Right. So we're already at 4-1. Miami's tricky. So we'll come back to Miami. Let's look at the Jets. All right. So Jets, obviously, another kind of just lost everything, right? Listen to these names that they lost: Rodgers, Adam, Conkley, Tyron Smith retired, even though he's at the end of his way after in his career. They lost their center and Jake Hansen. Hassan Reddick left. Solomon Thomas, Kinlaw, C.J. Mosley, DJ Reed. Names. I'm just naming names, not saying that they're good players, but these are veterans and players that have been starters in the league. Whether they're past their prime or not, just understanding you have to replace these players in these production. Jalen Mills, um, Morgan Moses. I think he was a right tackle, starting right tackle. So the Jets lost a shit ton. Um, but I think for a reason, if you listen to those names, that was really the old guard. And, I think they're with the youth movement. Mason Taylor should help them, tight end from
Mm-hmm.
you. Really good player. I think Armand Membu, the big Missouri offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was he was a big football player, like 8, right? 6'7", something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was a mauler. But I mean, they got still some players, right? What we gonna do with Justin Fields? Garrett Wilson still there. He got paid. Um, Bryce Hall is still there. We'll see with that defense. Jermaine Johnson and Quinyon Williams are still there defensively. Sauce Gardner, obviously, as well. So, I mean, your mainstays are uh, Williams and Gardner, right? Those are your building blocks. And Garrett Wilson. And I guess Bryce Hall, but he never is. He's kind of, I don't know what he hasn't flashed. And Olu Fashanu, I think their first round pick from last year, the big left tackle, is a decent player. So now that I look at this team, you think about it, it's not bad, right? They got 2 bookend tackles, young tackles.
Mm-hmm.
They got Elijah Vera Tucker. I think he's from Northwestern. Was he not from Northwestern? No, USC. I think he was a tackle that moved guard a couple years ago. He was a first round pick. Then they got this picked up Mason Taylor, Garrett Williams, and then Justin Fields. I mean, not too bad, right? Not too bad. Let's see what their schedule looks like. The problem is is Justin Fields has all the talent in the world. Nobody's figured it out.
Mm-hmm. But Mhm.
Go ahead.
I think I mean the win total for me for the New York Jets is really low. I think they're going to be able to go up. I think they're going to be a much better team than they were last year.
I
And the
agree.
source of being that is that
What they won 4 games last year, 5
right.
games, something like that.
Yep. And you got it was Aaron Rodgers, and it was a rough season. Pretty much everybody in that organization. Don't forget they fired their coach. They did X, Y, and Z. It just wasn't a team approach. I think you have Justin Fields in there that's going to get a fresh start. He'll be the
Aaron
solidifies.
Glenn. Let's not
Yes,
forget about
and
Aaron
right.
Glenn.
Aaron Glenn is now going to kind of bring a different culture to that building, and we're looking at 5.5 wins. They're going over 5.5 wins.
So you
Whether it
like
be
the over 5.5?
For sure. For sure. Justin Fields himself can get him at least 3 wins. Just because he's
It's not bad,
dynamic.
bro.
Hmm?
This is not a bad 3-leg parlay.
Right. Look at it. It's almost 1,000 to
Buffalo
1.
Bills to get 11 wins. Your sweat is New England,
Mhm.
right?
And we haven't done Miami yet.
And we haven't even done Miami yet. And the Jets to get you 5.5.
Damn, do we
wins.
want to leave Miami off this? Might want to leave Miami off.
I feel like because I'm the beginning of the Jet schedule's silly. Home for Pittsburgh, home for Buffalo, on the road for Tampa, on the road for Miami, and then home for Dallas, home for Denver. That's the first
It's rough,
6 games.
But all we need is 6.
Well, we might get 1. The first 6. I think they could beat Carolina. That's 2. They'll probably lose to Cincy, at Cincy, then a bye week.
And then it gets
At
easy.
home for Cleveland.
Yep.
They'll probably get that. At New England. You know, they always play New England tough. That's just Thursday night game. But that turnaround is going to be tough. Sunday game, home for Cleveland, and then play a division opponent that Thursday night. That's going to be a tough turnaround. So New England. So hold on. They can beat Miami at Miami. They can beat Carolina. They can beat Cleveland. I say they lose at New England. So I'm not going to count that. I think they beat Miami in December 7th. So they sweep the Miami series. That's 4 wins. They could beat New Orleans at New Orleans. That's 5 wins. And then their last home game is against New England, who might be resting people because they made the playoffs already. There's your 6. If they get 2 wins out of the first 6, so say they beat Miami at Miami and somehow beat Dallas or Denver, then you got your 6 for sure. For sure. But that first 6 is a stretch. That shit is a stretch. But I'm with you. I like the parlay as it is.
Which is a 3. Yeah.
That's the 3.
I will leave Miami out of there because I think Miami's going to be bad.
Yeah, I don't know how bad. So I'm gonna write this drawing down because I didn't even know we could do this. So we got Buffalo 11.5, New England at 9.5, and then the Jets at 5.5. Now this is just in division win totals, y'all. So you can mix and match it there you want, which is probably a better way to do it. But we're doing in divisions. All right.